Hello there. Welcome to Series 2 of A Village in Lockdown, a weekly podcast series exploring the impact of COVID-19 on the beautiful and historic village of Port Sunlight. My name is Catherine Lynch, and I'm the Director of Heritage for Port Sunlight Village Trust. In Series 1, we explored the impact of lockdown on different aspects of life in Port Sunlight. We've taken a break for a few weeks and are now back with Series 2, which documents the village's recovery. You'll get to meet more of my Port Sunlight colleagues with exclusive behind-the-scenes access, find out about the safety measures that are being put in place to protect people, hear about the progress we are making with some important projects, and learn how emergency grant funding is supporting our recovery plans. I do hope you enjoy the series, and as always, we'd love to hear from you.
Hi everyone, my name is Marie and I'm Bookings and Venue Coordinator for Port Sunlight Village Trust. In the previous series, you will have heard from our Visitor Experience Manager, who spoke about the impact that COVID-19 had on Port Sunlight, specifically the closure of all of our visitor experiences and attractions. Gradually, as restrictions have begun to ease, we've been working really hard behind the scenes to figure out new ways that we can open up these experiences again. I'm really pleased to announce that we now have a walking tour programme in place, and during this episode I'll be talking about the safety measures that we have used in order to keep our visitors safe, and we'll also hear from some of our tour guides regarding their highlights on the tours. Why book a walking tour? Well, the history of Port Sunlight is incredibly broad and unique. And the guided walking tours offer people the opportunity to fully understand its history as well as admire the architecture and scenery that Port Sunlight has to offer. Our tours have always been a firm favourite amongst our visitors. And during the recovery process, we now have the technology in place to keep people socially distant, which means our tours are also incredibly safe for our visitors. All of the equipment is thoroughly sanitised after each use, and we're currently limiting our numbers as per the government guidelines.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the beautiful village of Port Sunlight. Let me introduce myself. My name's John Spilletts. I'm one of the large team of volunteers who take people around this village. We recently reintroduced the tours, and you can say, well, we can drive around the village. Why would we need a tour with someone? I would suggest that myself and the other guides are tried to be as knowledgeable as possible about every aspect of Port Sunlight, whether it be the architecture, whether it be the connection with the social side of the village, whether it be all the things that you can see and hear at the moment. Some of the places we can't go in, but on your tour you would get, in an hour and a half, you would get a really good idea of the layout of the village, the history of the village, and how important it is in connection with the factory, which is about 40 yards from here.
Hi, I'm Donna. I'm one of the volunteers here in Port Sunlight. I've been volunteering for just over 3 years, and normally on a Monday you find me over in Bridge Cottage, which is now our community hub. Along with two fellow volunteers, Anne and Marilyn, we host a coffee morning on a Monday morning for residents, and then in the afternoon we look after the Sunlight Stitchers. And then we show any visitors that come to the village that want to look around Bridge Cottage, we give them a little guided tour around the house. Walking tours are great fun. I've now done 2 years worth of walking tours, and they're brilliant. They give you a great overview of the history of the village. We start from William Lever's life in Bolton, to him joining forces with his brother to start their first factory over in Warrington, and then how the village came to be here, why the factory is here and the village is here, We talk about the different houses, how there's 900 houses in the village. They're all built by different architects, so there's different designs. You've got the mock Tudor, you've got the beautiful Dutch gabling, you've got different windows, arched and round windows, fantastic chimneys, and you get a feel of just what it must have been like to live in the village all those years ago, and how the village has moved on and how it's still as important today as it was when it was first built. We show you the public buildings, so the church and the school, and obviously the War Memorial where we're standing at this moment.
Okay, I'm now at the foot of the Dell Bridge, which is my favourite part of the tour, because it's from here that you can see the various styles of architecture, because 30 different architects were responsible for the layout and the building of this village. It's also part of my favourite spot because right behind me is the original red brick factory wall. So as you can see, the factory and the village are very much alongside each other, and that's what's so important to me, that the factory is still an operating factory. It's where I grew up, where my father worked. So this is absolutely my favourite part of the village.
I struggled to answer this question because when I'm doing the walking tour, there's loads of it that I really enjoy. But I think probably the best part for me is the War Memorial. It's not just the sculptures around the top, in defence of our homes, designed by William Goscombe John, that stand out. I mean, their faces are just awesome. It's the names that are around the War Memorial. 700 men from the factory signed up in the first week of World War I, and out of that 700, only 200 came back. So there's just over 500 names on here. And if you think about that, that means virtually every family in the village must have lost somebody or knew somebody, had a neighbour whose child or husband didn't come back from the First World War. So it's quite a sobering thing. When I bring visitors here, we often stand and just have a minute while we think about the people that didn't come home. And then round the bottom, you've got the names of all those that died in the Second World War, including some ladies from the village. In fact, just round the corner, there's a brother and sister, Muriel and Herbert Jennings. They both worked in the factory, and they died together along with their parents and all their siblings, including a 6-month-old baby, in a bomb that dropped on their house in Wallasey. So it's quite a sobering thought, but somewhere where we have to bring the visitors, and the visitors like to come.